Welcome to our channel, Crime Loom, the place where true crime stories come alive. From daring jewel heists to mysterious legends, every video uncovers the secrets hidden in the shadows. Stay with us, because here, every crime tells a story. In a quiet, small town where nothing ever seemed to go wrong, one night changed everything. A young woman promised her family she'd be home soon, but she never walked through the door. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. What followed was a desperate search, a community shaken by fear, and shocking secrets that turned neighbors into suspects. In this video, we'll break down the chilling case, step by step, from the night she vanished to the truth that finally explained the mystery of why she never came home. The small town of Ashwood was the kind of place where nothing dramatic ever happened. People knew each other by name. The streets were quiet after sunset, and children played freely in the parks without fear. But all of that changed one evening, when a young woman named Sarah Bennett never came home. Sarah was 22 years old. She worked part-time at the local diner and was known for her kindness and bright smile. She lived with her mother on Willow Lane, a street lined with maple trees and small brick houses. Everyone liked Sarah. She dreamed of moving to the city one day, but for now, she stayed close to her family, saving money and helping her mom. On the night of her disappearance, Sarah had worked a long shift at the diner. It was summer, and tourists had filled the town, so the place had been busier than usual. She laughed with her co-workers, said goodnight to the customers, and hung up her apron. Around 9:30 p.m., she left the diner, telling her friends she was walking home. It was a short walk, only 10 minutes. She always took the same route, down Main Street past the old church and across the small bridge leading to Willow Lane. Her friends watched her leave, her figure disappearing into the warm night air. None of them imagined it would be the last time they saw her. When Sarah's mother noticed she hadn't come home by 10:30, she grew uneasy. At first, she thought Sarah had stopped to chat with friends. By 11, she was calling Sarah's phone, but there was no answer. The calls went straight to voicemail. Midnight came and still no sign of Sarah. Panic began to set in. By morning, the police were called. Officers began searching along Sarah's usual route. They checked the diner, the streets, and the bridge. Neighbors were questioned, and flyers were printed with Sarah's face. The words, "Missing, last seen." Walking home were taped to lampposts. The town had never experienced anything like this. The first real clue appeared near the old bridge. Sarah's purse was found lying in the grass. Inside was her phone, the screen cracked. Her wallet and ID were still there. This didn't look like a robbery. It looked like something else, something darker. Detectives dug into Sarah's life. Friends told them about a man who had been bothering her at the diner. He came often, sitting alone in the corner, staring at her for long periods. Sarah had told her friend Emily that he made her uncomfortable. "He doesn't talk much," she had said, "but I always feel like he's watching me." Other witnesses mentioned a dark car parked on Willow Lane several nights in a row. No one recognized the driver. Some thought it was the same man from the diner. The search widened. Dogs combed the woods. Helicopters scanned from above. Divers searched the river by the bridge. The town gathered in groups, walking with flashlights late into the night, calling Sarah's name. But each night ended with silence. The community clung to hope, but deep down, people feared the worst. Sarah had never run away before. She was close to her family, had plans for her future, and had left everything behind: her purse, her phone, her dreams. And so the question haunted everyone. Where was Sarah Bennett? The second day after Sarah's disappearance was filled with tension. Reporters arrived, turning Ashwood's quiet streets into a flood of cameras and questions. For the Bennett family, it was overwhelming. Sarah's mother, Helen, stood outside their home, clutching her daughter's photo. Her eyes were red from crying. Please, she begged. If anyone knows anything, help us bring Sarah home. The police doubled their efforts. Detectives went door to door, asking if anyone had seen or heard something unusual. Some residents recalled hearing a car late that night near the bridge. Others said they had seen headlights flashing through the woods. A jogger claimed he saw a man standing on the bridge around 9:45 p.m., just minutes after Sarah had left the diner. The man was tall, wearing a dark jacket, and appeared to be watching the road. When the jogger passed, the man turned away quickly. The description was vague, but it was enough to strengthen suspicions. The police released a sketch based on the witness's description. The drawing was shown on local television and printed in newspapers. Tips poured in, but most led nowhere. Then another discovery deepened the mystery. Near the woods by the bridge, searchers found a piece of fabric caught on a branch. It was torn and dirty, but matched the blouse Sarah had been wearing that night. It confirmed what everyone feared. She had made it to the bridge, but never beyond. Police began to focus on the man from the diner. His name was David Miller, a 35-year-old mechanic who lived alone on the edge of town. He was known for being quiet and keeping to himself. He often visited the diner, always at the same time, and always sat where he could see Sarah. When detectives questioned him, he denied knowing anything about her disappearance. He admitted going to the diner, but insisted he was just a customer. His car matched the description of the dark sedan seen near Willow Lane, but without hard evidence, police could not arrest him. They searched his property but found nothing directly linking him to Sarah. The town was torn. Some believed David was guilty, while others warned against rushing to judgment. Meanwhile, Sarah's family grew desperate. Each passing hour felt like an eternity. Then strange letters appeared. The first was taped to a lamppost downtown. Written in messy handwriting, it said, "She's not far. You're looking in the wrong places." Another appeared 2 days later, left in a mailbox. "She was last seen by the bridge." The third week brought no relief. Posters of Sarah's face hung on nearly every door, shop window, and lamppost. Police questioned David Miller again. He said he had gone home early on the night of Sarah's disappearance. He claimed he had. No reason to harm her. But when detectives asked for an alibi, his answers were thin. Despite their suspicions, police had nothing solid. And so, David walked freely, his calm expression only deepening the anger of Sarah's family. Meanwhile, the letters continued. A third note was found outside the church. It read, "The truth lies beneath the leaves." Searchers flooded the woods near the bridge again, combing every inch. They found broken branches, empty cans, and abandoned campsites, but nothing that led directly to Sarah. One officer, Detective Karen Holt, refused to let the case fade. She studied the letters carefully, comparing the handwriting to samples taken from suspects. Finally, a small connection appeared. The loops on the G and the way the S curved matched notes taken from David Miller's garage. It wasn't absolute proof, but it was a strong lead. Police returned to his home with a search warrant. Among the tools and spare parts, they found scraps of paper similar to the notes left around town. They also found a box containing women's belongings, scarves, bracelets, and hair ties. David said they were from old girlfriends, but the discovery chilled detectives. The breakthrough came when a hunter noticed disturbed soil in the woods beyond the bridge. Beneath leaves and branches lay a shallow grave. Inside were human remains. Forensic tests confirmed the worst. It was Sarah Bennett. The town was devastated. Hope of finding her alive was gone. The fabric from her clothing matched the torn piece found earlier. Soil on David Miller's boots matched the soil from the burial site. Fibers from her blouse were discovered in his car. Piece by piece, the case built itself. David was arrested, charged with Sarah's murder. The trial began the following year. Prosecutors showed the jury the fibers, the soil samples, and the handwriting analysis linking David to the notes. Witnesses testified about his behavior at the diner and his car near Willow Lane. His lawyer argued the evidence was circumstantial, but the jury saw the pattern. After weeks of testimony, the verdict was delivered. Guilty. David Miller was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The courtroom erupted with emotion. Helen Bennett wept openly, clutching her daughter's photo. Even after justice was served, the story of Sarah Bennett haunted the town. Documentaries were made, retelling the case. Helen turned her grief into action, starting a foundation to help families of missing persons. She spoke at events, telling Sarah's story as a warning and as a call for justice. The bridge where Sarah was last seen became a place of memory. Flowers were left there often. On the anniversary of her disappearance, the town gathered, candles glowing against the night. They remembered her smile, her laughter, and her dreams. Years later, Sarah's story is still told in Ashwood. Parents warn their children never to walk home alone at night. The diner where she worked keeps her photo on the wall, a reminder of the girl who never came home. The case changed the town forever. It showed that even in the quietest places, darkness can hide. Helen Bennett still lives in the same house on Willow Lane. Sarah's room remains untouched, as if waiting for her return. Though she knows the truth, she says softly, "She'll always be with me." And so the town of Ashwood carries her memory. The mystery was solved, but the pain never left. Sarah Bennett never came home, and the small town that once lived in peace now carries her story as both a warning and a memory of a young woman who vanished into the night, and of the dark truth that finally came to light. You've just seen another chilling story from the world of true crime, but there are many more secrets waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe to Crime Loom, and join us as we unravel more heists, mysteries, and untold legends. Don't miss what's coming next, because in the world of crime, the truth is always stranger than fiction.